Hello everybody, you're starting up Skyrim again like many others due to the Legendary Edition coming out, and you're thinking, I want to be an Argonian. But you're stuck at what Argonian you're going to be. Well, I'm going to show you how to be a hardcore Argonian. That's right, a hardcore Argonian. Now you're probably thinking, what's a hardcore Argonian? Isn't that what they normally are? Because they're pretty hardcore. Well, no, they're not going to be a peasant like normal, and they're not going to be a shadow scale of a sword. Not going to be part of the Dark Brotherhood, and they're definitely not going to be thieves. There's going to be no stealthing here. Now, like many others, you're probably confused. What? An Argonian that's not a Dark Brotherhood member? Or a thief? How can this be? Now you're probably thinking, I want to be as badass as a Viking.
Dental appointment! Dental appointment! You're a dentist's worst nightmare right now.
But as you can see, that takes a lot of badassness, and you don't have that. Not as an Argonian, but you can still be pretty hardcore. So get yourself a full set of Orcish armor. That's right, Orcish armor. Looks pretty sick on an Argonian. And then get ready, because I'm going to show you how to be hardcore. Now you're probably thinking, okay, I've got myself this armor set. What am I going to do? Well then, I'm going to recommend to you to get a shield. One or three of them. The first one being the Shield of Yzermal. This one here gives you 20% magical resistance and can be easily obtained during the companion quest line. The only downside to it, or side effect, is the fact that you become a werewolf during this quest line. The next one is the Targe of the Blooded. This one here gives a bleeding effect for 5 seconds, does 3 points damage of bleeding, can be easily picked up during the main quest line, as you'll have to go to this location, which is Elftad near Winterhold. It's a Dwemer ruin. It's easily picked up. The next one that I recommend, and the one that I personally use, is the Spellbreaker, which has a ward enchantment on it. This ward enchantment is quite useful against magical users, which will be your main opponent. This can be easily found at the Shrine of Perii, where the quest giver gives you the quest to find it. Once you've got yourself this shield and the full set of Orcish armor, you're going to have to decide what perks you're going to invest. This is an important decision. Now, there are only 4 trees you need to look at. Heavy armor. This is important since Orcish armor is heavy armor. Now, there are only 2 perks I recommend, which is Juggernaut. Put in as many points as you like. I'll put in all 5. And the second being Fist of Steel, seeing as your attacking weapon will be your fist. The next tree I would look at is the block tree. This is very important as you'll be mainly blocking. Now, you want to upgrade Shield Wall as much as possible and put in a lot of points into this shield tree. Then the other one that you will want is Power Bash. This is great when you're in a tight situation, you need to push off the opponent. Next up, Smithing. There are only 2 perks that you want to get, which is Orcish Smithing, since you're wearing Orcish armor and you want to improve it and or make it, and Arcane Blacksmith. This is important to upgrade your shields, which are magical. The next tree is Enchanting. Put in as much as you want. It's not necessary. Once you're all set, you can begin your onslaught. Basically what you'll need to do is raise your shield, stun him, and wail into him with your fist. This technique works as well with giants. Now this is a difficult opponent for most close range melee type opponents, but with your shield you're able to stun block and then move away, as I'm demonstrating. When you do that, you get put into a good position. Stun block, punch, and move away. Even if you have to block the attack, and since you're wearing heavy armor, you'll have a bit more damage resistance, so it's a good technique. You'll even be able to take down giants no problem. As I'm showing here, take on 2 giants at once. That's as hardcore as it can get. Now once you've downed the giants, make a little pile out of them, no problem. Now, the one weakness to this build is magical uses. Now here I'm showing you a Dragon Priest, really strong opponents here. Now the problem with the Dragon Priest is sure you can get close, but they use, this one here in particular, summons a Storm Archdrake, which then puts you at range to the Storm Archdrake. The technique here would be to try and line them up in the same position and use, well in my case, the Spellbreaker for the ward technique, right? So I'm deflecting the magical damage. Once I'm deflecting the magical damage and I see there's an opening, because normally they stop shooting their magic out for a moment, I make a run in, close the gap, and then beat on them. That's your technique. Now you can even go hunting this method. When you get up the shield charge technique, you can hunt down elks, run into them, send them flying, just as I've done there, and wail on them when they're on the ground. This is a great technique for things that you want to catch up to real quickly. Now, not only can you hunt elk, but you can go hunting dragons. That's right, dragons. You're hardcore. You can catch your own dragon. No one's going to say no to you because you're hardcore. Now you can even ride this dragon if you want, but you're hardcore. No one gives a fuck what you do because you're the boss. Remember that. You're the boss. Now, if you're getting tired of flying around your dragon, what are you gonna do? Why don't you piss off this guy that's always telling you about the sweet rolls and his arrow in his knee? Beat him up. No one cares about his arrow in his knee. No one cares how you got this guard job. No one cares about the missing sweet roll. Beat him down, teach him his lesson. Now, you're probably getting tired of all this violence. What should someone in that position do? Well, why not stop the war? Or at least sort out the feud between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials. So, sit them all down. Make a little meeting at the Greybeard's temple. Hi, Hrothgar. Here, you sort out the problems, because you're boss. Now on to Sovngarde, where there's a pressing matter. Alduin has returned, and it's your job to deal with him. You're hardcore. Even if you're not the Dragonborn, or even if you are the Dragonborn, you're the only one that can deal with it. You put that dragon down. You show him who's boss. You're hardcore. Alduin is your bitch. Simple as that. Now with Alduin out of the way, on to Dawnguard, one of the DLCs. Have fun with vampires and werewolves and Dawnguard, vampire hunters. It's a great DLC. And Dragonborn. There's another Dragonborn out there. What more could you want to test your hardcore Argonian? Oh, and for these slower paced gamers, Hearthfire, get to build your own house, adopt children. It's a bit of fun. And now on to what I enjoy doing the most. Shield charging and then butt punching. Now you're probably thinking, what do you mean by that? What you do is you shield charge into an opponent. They go flying, and when they're down, you wail on them. Now normally they land face down, so you end up butt punching them. Simple. I'm going to leave you guys with a little montage of butt punching shield charge technique, and I hope you enjoyed.